use it, so...
Yes, I do.
Ho, 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 ho!
Ho, 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 ho,
We're
ho, ho,
here! This week on The Pocket Dimension Live, we are talking about how to say goodbye to Monopoly, Battleship, The Game of Life by Milton Bradley, and instead hoodwink your family into playing TTRPGs with you instead. Roll that beautiful intro. Welcome back. This is the Pocket Dimension Live. It's a show where four friends, or in, I'm bad at math, today's case, three, right? Three of us will talk about all things TTRPG and whatever comes to our mind at any given moment. My name is Allison.
I'm Matt.
I'm Fitz.
What? That is brand new information.
I know.
Off to a great start. Let's see who has joined us in chat today. First and foremost, a big old birthday shout out to our great, great friend, Galaxy Fox Night Sky. Happy birthday! In honor of Galaxy, we encourage you to type in all caps.
All caps.
Yes,
it has
please.
to be all caps.
We want
Happy birthday.
screaming incessantly. We
It's
love
not
it.
though. Like that's
No,
such
it's
an
not.
old school way. It's
It is.
excitement.
It's pure excitement.
It's pure
Joy and
excitement.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Galaxy. We're glad that you're here. Hello. Welcome to Mike, Jax, Kai. Fanboy's here. Hello, Fanboy. Seth the DM has a swanky new picture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Why so blue?
Why so swanks?
Kai's here. Anna Fitzgerald is here. What?
Uh-oh.
I cloned myself.
That's creepy. Just kidding.
Amy says, so excited for this holiday extravaganza.
Mm.
Glenn is here. Oh, holy snikey. I made it for a live one. Welcome. This is what it's like.
Yes, this is what it's like, all right. Yes.
Our dear friend Michelle, the drummer board, made it. Let's go,
Michelle.
Pocket Peeps. Yeah, Matt's hair does, in fact. In fact, let's just give Matt a minute. Hold on. Hold on. There's just too many things. Yep. Okay, look down so we can see.
Oh, yeah. Full effect. Full effect.
Yeah.
And tell the people your inspiration.
Yes, my inspiration. I did not love season 2 as much as I did the first season, but Good Omens and David Tennant. I was watching that man, and I was just like, "Dang, I want to be David Tennant." And so this is the process beginning.
Don't we
We
all?
all do. We all do. And this is the MacNab Tartan, my actual middle name, Tartan for my name, and it just
It fits.
happens to go with.
It's so hot.
Here for it.
Your wife is also looking real hot with her new red hair.
Yeah, she went full Irish.
Oh, I haven't seen
It's
it.
great. I know. It's great.
Everybody is doing what they're supposed to do. Good omens. I haven't watched season 2 yet. I need to get on that. Maybe we can do some of that on our little vacay.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
Some people loved it. I was not one of those people, but fans for
All right.
life
That's
of
fair.
those two.
Right. I mean, we
That's
have some
fair.
potatoing to do, so we could watch
do.
some questionable Good Omens.
Mhm.
We do have some potatoing. We're going to potate a lot.
That's what, this morning I said, I stand by the conjugation of potato. I want to potate.
I want to potate.
Potato, potata, potatamos, potatais, potatan.
There it is.
Potatoes. Yes, Fitz and I are taking a little trip together next week, and we're just going to be potatoes. We're going to eat potatoes. We're going to be potatoes.
I'm
and
so
we're going to
excited for
potate.
y'all. Wow, that is.
I'm ready.
I'm jealous.
Let's go, potatoes. What are I was like, what are we talking about today? So,
Oh,
oh,
We're kind of
Fitz?
talking potato-y. What? Yes?
you're right. Pulling us back on track. My O was oh yeah, we have things to talk about.
Oh yeah, we have things. So it's the Friday before Christmas. Ourselves and many other people are heading out of office next week. Christmas is Monday. We've got New Year's the following. So you may be spending some time with family. And I don't know about y'all, but my Christmas time is often spent playing board games together. What is y'all's favorite board game? I'm now throwing something off script at you guys to play with your family. Mine is Mall Madness.
Yeah.
I still have my Mall Madness.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh my God. I have it. I'll bring it next time we hang out. It was a board game from the 90s where like you got like it's teaching like consumerism and credit card debt. All players have a credit card and you have to visit shops in a certain order to like, it's really fun. And it's like, electronic. So it has like a speaker and this like, creepy voice. It's like sale now at Maddie McNabb's Tartans.
What?
Commercials for that. We never owned it, but I remember the commercials.
Well, it's back, but I have so where I'm going, I'm spending Christmas with my best friend and her family, and they have like the new and updated Mall Madness, but I have the OG from the 90s. Okay,
never heard of this.
We'll fix it. We'll fix it.
I'm writing it down. Okay.
2024. So that's my, and then my like old school. I love Clue. I think I've talked about this before. Clue, I think, was like my precursor to role-playing games because I didn't want to just play Mrs. White. I wanted to be Mrs. White,
I wanted to be Miss Scarlet. Yes, Fitz, what's your fave?
Can I choose a card game?
Does it have
to be a board game?
You could do but Porque no los dos.
Okay. Mine has to be Tea Dragon Society.
Yes.
It is. And like I understand that my brother and sister-in-law, hi Cass, what's up, girl, don't love playing it with me because I get very excited about it. I make them play it with me all the time, but it's so good. I love Fanboy's commitment to the bit here of the all caps. Thank you. You understood the assignment. This has been the Christmas of New Board Games. I have to post them on it. Yes, come talk to us in Discord about your favorite board games.
Please.
But I'm seeing some really, really fun ones from Kai. Says my nibblings are a big fan of Sushi Go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
By the way, Fitz, I haven't told you this yet, but I keep getting SpawnCon sponsored content for a boba tea board game, and somehow this is your fault.
Wait.
Got
it. I'm so glad I didn't buy it for you, because I thought about it, but I was like, surely Fitz has it or is getting it already.
Although you guys did buy me Queen by Midnight for my birthday, so I am bringing it with me. We had fun playing it at Gen Con.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Really I'm so excited. I'm excited to play. Fitz, so it kind of on those. So I have a younger brother, also named Evan, weirdly enough. Yeah. Two bros named Evan, but he's 10 years younger than I am. So I consider myself an only child because the formative years were spent as such. So growing up, if there was a game I wanted to play and like it was just me and my mom, we would just each take two. Like we would play Sorry as a 4-person game, but like I would play blue and green and mom would play red and yellow.
Oh.
So Fitz was like, I don't know if we can pull off Queen by Midnight, just two of us. And I was like, we're each going to take 2 queens. Oh. And so we're going to go back to my roots.
You sneaky devil.
That's what we're going to do.
My favorite board game growing up was called Galaxy. You're really gonna love it. It's real fun. It's called Crack the Case, and no one's heard of it, and they don't make it anymore, or at least I don't think they do. But it was a murder or just a mystery game where it was a bunch of little short mysteries, and you had to solve them. Period. And it was really fun. There was kind of like a loose point system and stuff. But it was, we loved it because mom loves murder mysteries and stuff.
I've seen some chat about Doctor Who Clue, and now Glenn is saying hues and cues. Does everything rhyme today? Is that the vibe that we're going for?
Yes.
We'll have to by the way, I don't know if you guys have noticed this if you're watching not live later. The live replay does come, but it's like it takes 24 hours to come back onto the video. It's really weird, YouTube.
Oh, the chat?
So I'm going to have to come back and get all of these from the chat. Okay, Sarah. Telestration? What's that one? Has
heard
made
that
me
one.
pee my pants.
Oh, is illustration like telephone Pictionary?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
If-
yes,
if-
I have
if-
played that.
That does make me laugh until I urinate. Yeah.
Yep. Wow. So scientific.
That is, yeah.
So enough with board games.
Okay.
We're going to
Yeah.
talk about, like, many of y'all have joined a cult this year,
Mhm.
and that cult is the Pocket Dimension. So we
I was like, what cult is that?
we're owning it. Matt and I did a whole episode of ADHD 20 earlier in the year called "Are We a Cult?" And we were like, no, definitely not. And now we're like, maybe we might have started a cult accidentally.
That's a happy one.
It's a happy one. We welcome all into our cult, and you don't have to do anything weird or bad. And you don't have to never play board games again. None of us are here hating on board games. In fact, we all love them. But, if you wanted to turn the corner and introduce your family to a TTRPG, how might you go about that? Because people got opinions. Mortal Bane's here. Hey, Mortal Bane.
Hey, babe.
So, Fitz, you ran a poll.
I did. So I've started to have some fun the past couple of weeks on
like fun.
Thursdays to do some polls in our community. And this week I did one just asking if folks have done TTRPGs with their families and what that experience was like. So 44% of y'all out of 39 votes cast.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a pretty good.
That's a
pretty
good
number.
sample size.
Good
Yeah.
sample size. 44% said yes, we loved it,
Nice.
and that was the winning. So
Oh,
luckily,
this is good.
luckily, the yes but never again was the lowest vote at 8%. And then it was
Yeah.
about equal with 26 and 23% for no, but we want to, and oh hell no.
And I was an hell nah. And I'm
Yeah.
willing to change my mind. I am being open-minded to moving away from that. I can't see my family loving, but I can't speak for them either. So maybe
Sure.
I should try. So the first thing that we thought about with all of this was like, if you wanted to tiptoe into it, and Glenn is already, you're kind of on the right path, like a light RPG. Like,
Yes.
I've had friends that I've tried to get into D&D and they're like, it's just too much. It takes me 2 hours to set up a character. Blah, 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 blah. So how can you like get people into the game quickly?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mhm.
So we'll talk about that first. Feel free to
Do a
share your
little research.
opinions.
Yeah. Please.
One thing that we just did, so we run these monthly one-shots with our patrons, and Matt ran a delightful, delicious Krampus-themed one for the month of December.
Krampus.
And I got to play in it instead of DM, which was fun for me. And so the party that I was in, we all decided to bring characters from our favorite holiday movies
Mhm.
instead of rolling up brand new characters. And I think that that's what, like, everybody has a favorite movie or a favorite vibe. We've talked about doing like an all Disney themed session in our Discord. So that would be kind of piece of advice number one, is instead of like having somebody who's not used to role playing build something from scratch, pick a theme, pick a movie, pick a book.
Yeah.
You could all do Charles Dickens characters as or I don't know where that came from. I was
would
feeling
be
very
into that.
Christmas Carol. Well, yeah, I would too.
Pick a Muppet, you know?
Pick a Muppet. Pick a Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yes. Muppet,
So-
Muppet. Yeah.
So that was one idea that we had of like how to make the lift lower, is give people something that they're already good and familiar with.
Yes.
Yeah. What else?
Definitely pick rules. Wait, am I making this up? Am I going off? I'm totally sorry. I'm going off
It's okay.
off script. Yeah, but like props, right? Props, because if you're gonna go from a card game to a potentially theater
What was
of the
that?
mind.
One more time, Matt.
If you're going to go from that to a possibly full theater of the mind experience, then you props will help, I think. So dice, if you want to gift your family dice for the holiday or something, or play a game that does involve cards. And a lot of RPGs this year are doing that. But yeah, even something I think as small as dice can say, oh, I can understand dice. I can understand that. So, and another thing that's not also on this list. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just
we love
destroying. I'm destroying. But I talked to my wife, Lindsay, and she was like, basically what she was describing was, and okay, wow, this is good, because this is actually advice that Allison has given me as a one-shot DM. She's so good at it. But what my wife said was railroad, basically. She doesn't know what railroading is, but think about your one shot with your family or brand new people, maybe as like a Zork game, right? Like you're at a mailbox. You have 3 options. You don't have to be that stilted and obvious about it, but she said, what I'm most terrified about is, what do you want to do now, right? And maybe they'll warm into, or maybe you have extremely, theatrical parents like I do, and maybe they'll just, who knows? But yeah, I would say railroading too, a little bit.
Yep. Railroading for sure. Seth said one that we also very much came up with, which was pre-generated character sheets for sure.
Yeah.
To again, just like lower that burden, because people like now, like, Fitz and I love to create a character sheet, but we didn't start out that way.
Right.
In fact, that's pretty vexing at first. I saw Jenny D, who is an influencer in this space that at least I know and love. She just played a game with her parents for the first time, their first ever game, which I thought was just so precious and adorable. So twee and cute. And she not only did pre-gen character sheets, she was like, what do you want to play? And kind of talked them through the races and the classes. So they didn't have to, come up with all this. But then she made each of them a cheat sheet. So she and she shared the template on her channel. And just like any of us can go grab a Google Doc and it's like, these are the spells you're gonna, use the most. If you're fighting, ignore all these and just use this one. Okay, you're gonna play a cleric, you're gonna use Guiding Bolt, and they could get into the guts of it if they wanted to, but if kind of eliminated that analysis paralysis. The other thing that she said she did with that session, it's on her channel, go watch it. It's so cute, is she put together little sets of color-coded dice for everybody, because like when you're new and you don't know what dice look like, you're like, what's my D12, and like before you get to know the shapes. So it was like, grab your blue dice and roll it, get your green dice. But she said then her parents, she was like, I come by it honestly, they were dice gremlins and they only wanted to play with the pretty dice. So she did have to throw that out the window in the end. But I thought that was so genius, because that's like one thing is like when we're new to something, at least I am, you're afraid you're going to do it wrong. As much as we all say there is no wrong in D&D, newbies feel that way, and that's okay. That's fair. So as many like decisions as you can unburden them with, so that way they can just focus on their imagination and active listening and all that fun stuff. So heck yeah to all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
What else?
And like I started going into this about component gifts, but like gaming systems and dice and minis, sure, that's a really good one. But if you can fit it to the recipient. So I bought this game called Heckin' Good Doggos for my wife, because she's obsessed with dogs.
And dog dice.
And dog dice. And dog dice. So that 1-2 punch was a gift. And Heckin' Good Doggos is very easy to play. Who knows? Maybe that will be the Christmas one to do. But it just like Lindsay doesn't love fantasy things. She doesn't love sci-fi things. So if you can find that thing, horror, dogs, I'm in, right? Or spies and murder mysteries, you're in, right? Yeah. So that's try to make that combo.
There's so much dog love in the chat now. Galaxy says love doggos. Mortal Bane says dogs are the best.
Dogs?
Sarah says dogs. I think that's genius though. Like, you probably wouldn't, if I wasn't already into this, you would not get me to play it, trying to get me to play a horror based game.
Right.
But if we got to skip around a magical land made of glitter on unicorns, that'd be a pretty easy way.
Well, we're gonna have a very, very tough sell, I think, if we try this in our household, because there is someone who has said, one family member who we know has said, I'm not going to play a TTRPG. That is Evan's thing. And then we didn't we push her and we said, hey, but if, and she said, if I could play a unicorn, maybe. We're already in that.
I will play a unicorn with you, Elise. Let's go.
I'm dancing around. Yeah, I don't want to give any Christmas gifts away either. But yeah, like just try to find that thing. And people are scared of the rules. They're scared of the complexity. They're scared of the improv. How can you minimize all those?
Well, now we have this, I'm in for unicorns and puppies. Like we went a little crazy with our raccoons, and y'all seem to love raccoons, so we could make like a couple different hordes of things. What was that game that the dungeon coach was telling us about at Gen Con? It's a raccoon.
Roots.
That's it.
I want to play Roots really bad. It sounded really cute.
Yeah.
But we did play. I think one of my key memories with Lindsay and truly understanding who she is as a human is when we played Mouse Ritter.
Yes.
And
So
my mouse, who was her spouse, died, and she was just like, "Oh, sucks for you," and like kept playing the
Watch
game.
out, Maddie.
I know. Well, like. Well, that's actually an interesting thing too. So she loves winning. I mean, she doesn't love open. We play video games. She doesn't love open world games, which is inherently a problem with TTRPGs as well. So again, with the Railroader, again with like, can you have one thing to beat and have that like, you've got that thing that they can really focus on, like a board game where there is a beginning and a middle and an end.
Yep.
That would probably also help.
Right. Having it be even a boiled down one shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly
so that you really can
even boil
win
down.
the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2 hours. How can you
Max.
do that?
Well,
Yeah.
So let's kind of transition then. So we did a little bit of research on y'all's behalf because some people love researching Fitz and some people hate it. Allison, I just need you to hand it to me. I need silver plattering covered in glitter. And it was funny. So we are delighted that Fitz is here today, but originally Fitz wasn't going to be here. Sad. So Matt and I were looking, because part of the problem with role-playing games is sometimes you need like a crowd. You need like a quorum of people to play with. And sometimes you only have like 1 or 2 people. So Matt and I were first looking at low lift, no prep, simple. It's the holidays. We all have enough to do. Games. And especially like maybe 2 or 3 players. That way, if you just get mom and dad, or if you just get one sibling or a niece, nephew, etc., and so we found some really cool ones. And kind of to the point that you were just making, Matt, are we ready to go into screen share mode?
Yeah, I'm on.
So one of the first ones we found, I am, spoiler alert, bonus points and 1,000,000 goodies to the first person to play this with me. I found this one called A Scoundrel in the Deep. And, so the basic premise, pretty little website, and you can get everything that you need from the website right here. It's a 2-player game. It does require you to be able to be mature enough, which might rule me out, to play with fire. So as the name might suggest, one person plays the scoundrel, one person plays the deep. And we're not going to get into all the mechanics of this, but basically there is a ruby hidden in the deep, and you decide what the deep is. Maybe it's a temple. Maybe it's literally underwater, wherever you want it to be. And so the scoundrel is making moves to try and get that ruby out, and can come up with as much or as little of their backstory. Do they want to be a rogue? Do they want to be a beefy fighter? And then so you take your turns literally lighting a match, as you can see in this picture here, which I think is so cool. And so you only have, for the length of time that match is burning, to get out what you're trying to say. I feel like maybe Fitz would not love this game because it's very so it's either your fingers are going to get burned, or like you have to blow it out. And if the match burns out while you're like passing it back and forth. I watched some actual play of A Scoundrel in the Deep.
Cool.
And so you're trying to get through your part, and then all right, what are you going to do? And then you pass the match to the scoundrel, and the scoundrel then is going to, and there are consequences if you're holding the match when it goes out. And that's how either the deep or the scoundrel, because it's like, okay, well, the scoundrel didn't get their pop off whatever they were trying to do in time. Match goes out. So now the scoundrel is going to get the ability to evade them.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yes.
I want to play. Okay, good. So we've got a lot of, I want to play with fire, Pyro's Delight. Yeah.
Here's the thing. The difference between Sarah and Kai is the difference between myself and my cousin Erin. Erin would love this game. She is an intense pyro. My anxiety could not handle this game.
And I think it's the difference between you and me. I want to play this so bad.
I mean, it sounds fun. I love it in theory, but I just know if I'm holding a match, like some instinct within me starts shooting off alarm bells.
Says, I am legally allowed to have fire again.
Woo! Is that my cousin, Christopher?
I was wondering the same thing.
That sounds like something he would say. Chris, is that you?
Oh dear.
Doesn't this so there's one, no prep needed. You and you can download everything online that you need. And so if you get bored, play this and tell us how it is this week. I don't know. So that was my offering. Another one that came up a lot was Ironsworn, and I mentioned it. I mentioned that to Maddie, and you have this.
I own Ironsworn. I do, guys. I've got so many games. I will not live long enough to play all of them. But this one
challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. Number 1. Number 2. For no reason in particular, as we're in this gifting season, we really need you to make an Airtable of all the games that you have.
Great idea.
Oh, it's ATL Chris, not cousin Chris, but that's okay. We welcome you too, ATL Chris.
Yes,
you have an energy that I bond with.
Yeah.
I love it. So Ironsworn is very interesting. I've read through it. There's some cursory look through it, but I love. So number 1, you can play. It can be a solo game too. So if you're just wanting to, you don't want a GM, you're the GM and you just want to kind of play, there's a mechanic for that. It can be a 2-person, just GM and 1 player. The setup is pretty easy. It's kind of like a. It's kind of like a modified, powered by the apocalypse-ish kind of vibe, but it has an action die, which is really neat. It's been a little while since I've looked at it, but it's really well done, really clever, and again, like especially if you're one of the how many percent that said, hell no, I'm not playing with my family, but you still want to play. And you can find a little place for yourself, and you can play Ironsworn. It's really cool. The vibe of it is extremely great. There's Ironsworn.
Sarah has a great idea. She's made up her own one-shot.
Okay.
And I want to play it. It's for 1. It's a one-shot for 1. Called let's make a quick one up called Secrets. You just sit in the closet and share secrets
until somebody cries.
Oh my god.
Amazing. There it is, folks. There's your recommendation.
We're done with the show. Goodbye, everybody. Happy Christmas, Merry New Year.
Full on cracked me. As long as you film it, as long as photo or it didn't happen is all.
When I was a kid, I was really obsessed with belching. Sexy, right?
Yes.
And my mom hated it, and so my friends and I would get into belching contests. We would even make up signs to hold up, to rate each other. And my mom hated it, so we would crawl into my closet and do it. So we were masked by all the clothes, and I just suddenly got a PTSD response to that of sitting in the closet,
memory unlocked,
rating my friends' burps.
Bye, Amy.
Amy is going. Evan's here. Hey, Evan. So that's the point. Galaxy says, wait, photo in a dark closet. How do you see? I think that's the point, is that we don't.
It's true. But
it's dark in there, so you have to feel their
But you are
tears.
excited about it. You are excited about it, though. That's the important part.
Mm-hmm.
You have to feel their tears.
Sarah, you were the queen. Come on, man. So good.
Oh man. Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Iron Sword.
Yes.
Iron Sword.
Iron Sword. Yeah, so that's Iron Sworn, and Fitz, you've got one, which and yours is cool because it's one of those very specific genre, and it's like, this is a world a lot of people know about it, a lot of nerds know about it. Excited, go.
Well, I won't necessarily recommend this if you are looking for something that is grab and go immediately. I would recommend this game if you have at least one person who is willing to be a rules lawyer. Luckily, in my family, we have both my brother and I who are willing to be the rule keeper. But we played... So my family has actually done this. We've played Force and Destiny, which I think is back in print. It was out of print for a while.
Oh.
Hold on. Let
I
me
didn't
check.
know that.
I think they just switched publisher. Oh, well, it might still be out of print. Regardless, I'm going to use this as an anecdote of you could play any genre game. What we did as a family, we decided we were going to play a role-playing game. We went down to the game store together, Cassie and Sean and I, and we just walked up to the RPG section. And we just sort of noodled through, looked what was there. Obviously, there's Doctor Who. There's vampire ones. I think I saw there's a Twilight RPG coming out. Like, there's everything. Yeah. So no matter, or Lord of the Rings, there's RPGs for any sort of fandom.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I would do that.
I would do that.
You know, you could do like masks if you guys are super into superheroes. I think there's a Marvel one. Like, there's so many different genres that you could just go by interest there, regardless of if it's a good RPG or not. Just grab the beginner box for some IP that interests your family. SpongeBob. Right there. If you guys love SpongeBob. I love SpongeBob.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Absorbent and yellow and porous is he. SpongeBob SquarePants. If nautical nonsense be something you wish, SpongeBob SquarePants. Then drop on the deck and flip like a fish. Sorry, I
love
to.
SpongeBob. So yeah, just
Dinner with Maury, the RPG. I mean, what? That might be pretty easy. I don't know.
Anything.
Anything.
Doctor Who, Glenn.
Yes.
For sure.
Doctor Who made the short list. If I'm remembering correctly, I think it came down to between the Star Wars one and the Doctor Who one, and we went Star Wars. But, you know, you can grab the big player handbook or whatever, but honestly, if you see any sort of starter box, just grab the starter box for some IP that looks interesting to you. Yeah. Because that's going to come with the pre-gen characters. It's going to come with some dice. It's going to have an adventure in it, and usually the basic rules rather than the full shebang. So it's like you can get a taster and hop in quicker than if you just fully pick a game and have someone read through the whole handbook.
Yeah.
C-SPAN, the RPG.
Here's the thing, I would play that.
I'd play the hell out of that.
I would play the absolute hell.
Our World is on Fire, the RPG.
Chris is on fire today.
Oh, man.
Holy
amazing.
Oh, my God.
One of my other favorite RPG, or it's not really an RPG, it's just a board game, but my brother introduced me to it. It's called Secret Hitler.
You love that game.
I love Secret Hitler, and there's an update. I'm not going to get too political on this channel, but there is an updated version with a more modern take on fascism.
Wow. That might be too close for me, but
it was uncomfortable, but also we were like cry laughing.
Yeah. I own that. I'm going to bring it this time. Well, no, I can't because I'm flying, but we don't have enough friends to play.
You need to do what Mom and I did growing up, which is just play two.
Play two.
Just play two.
Yeah.
Secret Hitler you really do need, because the whole point is that you're on two different teams, but you don't know who's on which team. So you're trying to sway people.
Yeah.
So that actually would be kind of hard with just two people, unless you could, I don't know.
Maybe
I'm willing
Sarah,
to try.
Maybe Sarah would play.
I bet you could talk. Yeah. I bet you could talk, Sarah. Or next time we're all together, bring it, because that is
okay.
Yeah. Just anything. I mean, in general, you know, I'm gonna recommend to bring this back and tie it with a bow.
Yes, RPGs,
Just,
yes.
get a starter box.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
what
Starter
AK
box.
and I, that's how we got Amy
and
hooked.
yep.
We bought the D&D starter box. It came with a pre-gen adventure, and we didn't even play the whole adventure. We just did the first encounter, and that was enough to get her hooked. So,
And now she begs
get a
to play
beginner
D&D every month.
Yes.
It comes with,
Ding, ding,
I mean,
one of us,
and it comes with all the components you need. If you are a dice goblin, you're gonna get the dice goblins because the boxes usually have dice in there. It's got tactile things.
Tactile things. That's so true.
As I sit here with all of my dice, I've got
all the tactile things.
4 sets of dice in front of me and another bag.
Too many dice.
Listen to my metal beauties. Tabletop
yes,
Phoenix made it. Shout out.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us for your drive. We're glad that you're here.
Hola,
Listen to
hermano.
the jingle jingle.
And so I'll close out this conversation with just I know that we've only listed one on our outline, but I do have a bunch of other ones too that I'm just going to vomit out. But if you go online and you look this up, it seems like an enormous amount of the internet is going to kind of point you to one RPG that seemed to just come up over and over and over. I had never looked into it. I wonder how many of y'all have played it, but it is supposed to be the easiest RPG to just jump into and go. It is called Quest RPG, and I did take a look, and my goodness, it is beautiful. It is beautiful. So the rules are free. They're downloadable. You can just get it for free. The art is just magnificent.
Go back to
Ooh,
You like this one?
that one.
yes, that
Yeah.
one.
So freaking great. And it's kind of fantasy based, but it's also fairly neutral, right? It's got but look at how it starts. Welcome, friend. This is a special place, a retreat from your worries and obligations. Now close your eyes, take a deep breath, open your mind. Let's begin. What? That's just so sweet.
So
and then
warm.
I've never seen an index like this where it's like they say, first we're going to do this. So here's all the rules there. Second, do this. Third, and this. And honestly, there are a bunch of numbers, but it really can be so simple. It's a D20, but it's a D20. It's kind of like a D20 mixed with Powered by the Apocalypse that it's got a crit and it's got a nat 1, right? And then in the middle, it's got success. This is the most unique thing about it as far as the GM goes, and the GMs are called guides.
Aww.
Tough choice where you have to come 1 and 2. It's just so sweet and fun. And so, if you're a math person, you can see that you don't really like success is a pretty good thing. So that's a welcoming kind of vibe. You don't have to have maps because you've got distances like this. And then let me see. Where is it? I want to show you.
While Matt looks for that.
Yeah.
Real quick, one thing to remind everybody that I myself always forget about. Not everybody is going to be a dice gremlin, and dice sets aren't necessary if you forget them. There are a bajillion digital, both from apps, or you can just go to Google.
Yeah, thank you for that.
So yeah, you can literally dive into all of this with no supplies, which is kind of the spirit we were bringing these, is that like you don't need hours of prep, you don't need a bunch of know-how, you don't need people who just love role-playing another character. To make this happen. So don't forget about digital dice are definitely a thing.
Yes, digital dice. And in fact, if specifically iOS, there is a fella who it's just called Dice, and it is a mind-bogglingly good app, period. Like it is so beautiful and well made. He's obviously like a dice guy, but he does all kinds of apps, and it's really great. Anyway, so look at this quest thing. See if I can make it a little bigger. This is what you do. Go back down. All right, there we go. Hello, my name is Inigo
Montoya.
Pronouns.
You killed my father.
I'm this, and I stand this. I'm the party's this. Now, there are roles, which are classes,
Mm.
which are also very cool. I'll get to those in a second. I'm the party's this when they see me, but this is what you can read. So this is already like board gamey, right? Like if you're starting, they're kind of hand holding out of one. All you have to do to start the game, it's not like, what do you want to do? Or describe your character. No, they've already given you that. So that's really cool.
It's kind of like that time we used Mad Libs to build characters for ourselves.
Exactly like that. It's exactly like that, which is, that's exactly what I was thinking. And here's the roles. Fighter, Invoker, which is kind of like a battle mage, Ranger, Naturalist, Evan's least favorite, Doctor, Healer, Spy, Magician, and Wizard. I don't actually know the difference between these two, but anyway. And then the GM, I think probably you would have the most fun if you are a GM, or at least a player that's played other games and that you can kind of think, but they kind of like have a bunch of ideas. And so this is the one I wanted to try.
Yes.
For the holiday.
Yep.
Because I think this would allow a Sestra to be a unicorn very easily and not make anybody kind of uncomfortable or work too hard.
On the spot.
So Quest is really cool. May I throw a couple more in the mix?
Yeah, well, I just want to say what I like about this that I'm noticing as you're sort of presenting it to us is it feels the character creation reminds me of Mouse Ritter.
Yes.
Except with Mouse Ritter you rolled, so there was true randomization, whereas here you probably could roll if you wanted to, but you pick from the list instead.
What feels good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of Evan's hate of naturalists or druids, one of the one-shot parties next month, the one that Evan's in, has maybe pitched out the idea of being an all-druid party, which will either force Evan to be a druid or play with an entire party of druids, and I love it so much!
Which date is this game?
The one on the 13th.
Oh boy. Please druid up.
I feel like I need to see if I can figure out my schedule to join that game.
I feel like you do too, because So don't. I love that we're like, let's be welcoming and warm and friendly, and then now we're talking about like, let's torture our good friend that we love very much. But two sides. It's called balance. It's fine. Blah blah blah.
Yes, I love it.
Galaxy says, okay, but can I be a griffin? Yes, I say yes.
Yeah, I don't see why not, because they're if you move away from mechanics of species or races or whatever, then you're Bob's your uncle, right?
Is he?
I don't. No, Ben is my uncle. Ben's my uncle. Yeah. I just a couple more. I have played the game Quietus. It is really cool. It is a horror RPG, and I've played that with Lindsay.
I want to point out, I was willing to play that today if it had been just us.
I know. But that's another example of a genre that would get in. So we basically had like a Final Girl experience one night with this game, as Lindsay was this character, and it's very easy. I think powered by the apocalypse again or something, or maybe Into the Odd. I can't remember. Let's see. 10 Candles is another horror one. The reason Lindsay really wants to play that one, but the reason I nixed that is that in 10 Candles, everyone dies at the end there's no choice.
So Evan has to be there.
So Evan will love it.
Yeah, he will.
But I think that maybe Mom might not.
Aww.
I don't know.
MLB.
Maybe she'd love it. Maybe she would. And then the other two, I wanted to mention Honey Heist.
I've done that one.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. I mean, you don't get easier than you're a bear. You want to steal some bleep.
Well, I played it. I did a couple things. It was early in my RPG tenure, and I played with a group of strangers. I only knew the person DMing, and it was still like wacky. Fitz, you'll love to hear this. Somebody did the gag of instead of 3 kobolds in a trench coat, somebody did 3 bears in a trench coat, and the antics that they got into. Because part of the whole point was we were running around this like basically like bear themed Disney World, and so we were like going into shops and trying to steal things, which they were able to do with the whole, because like people were looking up here at the head, but the one in the middle or below was able to grab things off the rack.
Yeah.
And everybody's bears that they brought, like you can show your personality if you want to, kind of your point with quest. If you don't want to, you can just choose from a list. But if you did want to come with, like some kind of like, I want to be Paddington Bear.
Yes. And that feels key to me.
You can do that. Not an owl bear. Yeah. See, I need to do it again, Glenn. Where?
You have to do a scare bear honey heist.
Yeah, we need to do a scare bear where we have the owl bear, bugbear, and werebear represented. Okay, challenge accepted.
Well, any of those. First of all, since I realized that honey heist existed, I've in my head had an idea for a honey heist involving our Hottie Hive crew. Just FYI, putting that out there.
Let's do it.
But any of those one-page RPGs from Grant Howitt, he has the Trash Panda or Panda Crash Pandas. Is that what it's called? Where you're raccoons who steal a car. Yep. That's another popular one. He's got a bunch of those. And
so we could reskin that as Trash Pandas of raccoons where we steal fries.
Yes. Yeah. But the whole point is that they're all just one page.
Yes.
And so you can read it and go. There's no getting bogged down in rules.
Yeah. Galaxy asked a question. Weigh in the comments. Yeah. What's your favorite RPG, D20, D100, D8, D6?
Ooh. I can answer for my brother already. He's a D20 guy. Yeah. Which I actually am with that. It feels good. I am super psyched to try out Darrington Press's Daggerheart. Thank you. With it, which is D12, because I also have all these gorgeous D12s that I never touch. So I'm interested in that. The D6 games. I
want to give a nod to our friend Tay, who in kind of the end game of a D&D campaign with myself and Fitz, brought in some of the D6 play where, we were kind of describing our actions in the city that we were running amok in.
Yeah.
And then we were rolling 2D6 to determine was it, outcome with consequence, critical success. And I thought that was a neat way to take a D20 based system and then roll in a different mechanic, to really put some more stakes into. We were about to go fight Vecna. So, like you do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tate's good about melding systems like that. He was the one who presented the idea of having like heist tokens in certain situations in a game. I've used that a bunch, and then having the Powered by the Apocalypse 2d6 in sort of a more grander encounter when it's not just you and an opponent. If there's multiple players on a board across a city because there's multiple conflicts, it worked out really nicely for that.
All right, I need to be educated. Oh, sorry, Fitz. Exploding dice? What does that mean?
So there are a couple of systems where if you roll, like if you're a D8, if it's a D8 system, if you roll an 8, you roll that dice again. So it's like a critical, you can go higher and higher and higher. Yeah. So like, if you hit a D8, you roll a D8, you hit an 8, it explodes, you roll it again, and you can keep adding.
You guys, I haven't played enough TTRPGs. No.
Well, may I say, I know you're sick of me mentioning this, but may I say that the gentleman that is designing the Nimble 5e add-on to 5th edition specifically,
I am not sick of this.
No, I feel like I've mentioned it all the time, and it's just get annoying.
Not at all.
Because I'm just curious. I'm just curious about alternate 5e combats. Of course, that's why we love D20, la la la. But DC what 20. If? Anyway, he just has the flip. Instead of rolling hit, you roll only damage, and that's always exploding dice. And I have been playing that. Actually, I played that all last weekend. And it was awesome.
Let's go.
It was awesome. So as a GM, I was doing it because I didn't want to ask y'all to not roll more and more and more dice. But man, if they got an 8 on a D8, and then you can just keep going, and it was fun.
That's one thing that has changed about me this year is I am now not as afraid of new things. So I say,
You're not.
stop being worried that you're talking about too much. You're not. We can never talk about these things too much.
Yeah.
And I exploding dice sounds as AK as it gets. Why y'all holding out on me?
Okay, well, let's do it. 2024.
I think we cut Fitz off from your opinions on this.
Well, I have two thoughts. I do have an opinion, but is kids on bikes one of the systems that has exploding dice? Because if it is, then we absolutely have to play kids on bikes, because you can skin it to be a gajillion different genres, and I think that is one that our group is gonna love. I've dropped this various places around the internet, but we haven't like officially said, I think, on channel, but like our whole plan for 2024, guys, is to just start playing more games. More.
Do what we did with DC 20 with a lot of other, maybe Nimble. We've got some ideas, but it sounds like, we're just adding to the list at this point. So I can't wait to play my first exploding dice game live on air with all you fools.
We gotta fill in the gaps between the DC 20 alpha drops.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep playing the DC 20 stuff.
For sure.
But like we gotta fill our space with other things, because now we're just not satiated anymore. We want more.
We want
games.
more games.
More.
But my opinion is, I think D20 is my favorite, followed by 2D10. I love a D10.
Me
I
too.
love a D10.
Top secret, anybody? Yeah.
My official opinion is I don't have enough intel to have an opinion. So, friends, let's fix that.
24. Let's make it.
Well, that was super fun to talk about. And hop in our Discord if you have other games and dice systems you want to talk about. If you have others that you want us to see demo, if you have others you want to play with us, we're open. And with that, we hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful holiday playing RPGs with your families. And I want to hear about how it goes if you try out Quest or Scoundrel in the Deep or go. I love Fitz's idea about like going to a game store with your family and just making it like a group activity of like what looks good. And plus then you get to like support a local business in that way as well. Yes. Which is always a good feeling.
Yes.
And with that, Fitz has something very exciting, I think. I'm very, very excited to talk about this. That is how we're going to wrap up our show and our year with you wonderful people.
Well, first of all, as we are wrapping up, I do want to say for any folks who try a game with their family or their found family or their friends, or if you just try out a single person RPG just to pass the time during the holidays, I want to hear what you played and how it went and what your experience was like and what you would want to try next if you are in our Discord. I'm curious to see what people get up to over the next couple weeks, because we're going to be dark next week. That being said,
we're gonna miss you.
So we need proof. Yeah. We need that you still exist. We need to hear stories.
We need proof of life from you guys in our Discord. Please. Because also, like, not everybody's going to go home for the holidays or, you know, whatever. So, hop in our Discord. We're going to be chitter-chattering over the next couple weeks.
Chitter-chattering among the potatoes.
Among the potatoes, yes. AK and I will keep everyone updated on what level of, or what conjugation of potate we are having for that day.
We will also be blowing up our food channel, which is called the Hot Pocket Dimension, with all of the delicious things we're going to eat and drink next week. So get ready.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
But yes, I will now drop that. So for the people who are in our Patreon, you already know about this, because last night, Allison and I very cheekily spent way too much time trying to drop this a little bit early for the folks who are patrons. But Evan and I, who originally weren't going to be able to make it today, I very casually said, Evan, we could make like a 5-minute, 4-minute little Bud and Herb special just for Matt and AK to run today, since we're gonna be gone. It'll be just something cute, right, for us to be able to contribute when we're not there. Well, a 4 to 5 minute skit turned into a full-on because we're us, it turned into a full-on holiday special of
Let the record show I am not the most extra person in the Pocket Dimension.
No. Evan and I, when we saw an opportunity, we took it. So we made a full Bud and Herb, The Adventures of Bud and Herb holiday special. This is the show that he and I have been working on all year. We took a left turn back in March, so that put us a little bit behind. But let me just tell you, we are working on season 1 right now, and we're having a really wonderful time. It's going to be a sort of narrative fantasy-based podcast that ends in a live play, so get excited for that. But we, just as a taster for you guys and for us to feel like we've put something out there with Bud and Herb in 2023, we made the holiday special, which is us discussing the Merry Gremlin, a cryptid which haunts Mistress Glenn.
The hunt.
It is so freaking good, y'all. It is so exciting and unique and strange and wonderful. It's like, I've been saying fans of Prairie Home Companion, fans of, there's a theater show called Greater Tuna. Not many people know about, but it's
Greater
Tuna. A Tuna Christmas,
Tuna Christmas.
Here's a spoiler, you guys. Tater Tot Towers.
Tater Tot Towers for all.
Always about the potatoes.
What y'all have done in this world, it's like I told Evan this morning, like you could have chosen any place in America and still like places that people know, but nope. You not only, you just have to. It's very exciting. Can't wait for everybody to hear it. I love that you started with a Christmas special.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and this isn't the first time anybody will have met Bud and Herb. There is an ADHD 20 episode out, in which our good friend Seth the DM DM'd an adventure because so many of the listeners of ADHD 20 were like, "What's this game you keep talking about?" So that was our first official introduction to the antics that are Bud and Herb.
Yes.
So that is up on our YouTube channel. Go treat yourself if you need some reason to lock yourself in your room in the next week and get away from your family. Please go watch that one for your introduction. But to Matt's point, where you guys take Bud and Herb and the world that you are building around them is whimsical, wacky, wild, and wonderful. I love it so much.
On all your drives, it's 25 minutes-ish. On all your drives to places where you'll be very safe for the holidays. Just pop it in.
It's live on our YouTube channel right now.
It's
live on the YouTube channel right now.
So let Bud and Herb be your companions as you travel today or this weekend.
It's your appetizer for what's to come next year. So tasty nuggets.
Yeah, and all I'll say is that if you guys like conspiracies, go ahead and start your Bud and Herb yarn board because this is canonically connected.
Jax, we're looking at you for that. We did in our, as we were trying to get it posted last night, we were like, Jax and Mike, we're gonna call y'all out. Are some yarn boarders?
Yeah.
Yep.
Faux show. Yep. So, and we welcome it. We love it about
you. The
you.
lore that Evan and I have created is
she deep.
Yeah, I love it. Inspiring.
Yes.
She's so deep.
We're will come in 2024. And all I gotta say is we have decided that if you are a patron, we're gonna be leaking stuff to you guys early. So just start considering that as we get into the new year.
It's cheap. It's fun.
It's cheap, it's fun, it's good.
Good, cheap fun. That's us. Who's got 2 thumbs and is good, cheap fun? The Pocket Dimension.
Yes, everybody can yarn board.
Oh yeah.
Everybody 2024. Let's yarn board.
It's not just
for the red yarn sale after Christmas.
I'm going to go ahead and say as another teaser, it's not just deep lore, it's girthy lore.
It's girthy lore. Long.
Up.
Yeah.
It's girthy.
All right. Well, I can't wait for
love
everybody to fall in love with Bud and Herb the way that some of us already have. So go head to our channel as you log out of this and put that on for your listening enjoyment. Fitz,
Yes, please.
We're so glad you were here.
Yeah,
Me too.
thanks for being here, Fitz.
I'm
Thanks
glad
for
you let
being
me crash
on our live stream. Yeah.
your live stream.
Yeah, thanks for being on my podcast, you guys. So many crossovers now happening. I can't keep it all straight
I
anymore.
love it.
Yes. Yeah. Do you want to send us? We're just for the holidays. I do want to add that we're just so grateful for y'all, and we just really cannot believe what an incredible year this has been. It's just, I mean, it really was just a whiteboard dream, and y'all have made it a reality. So I'll say that again. I'll probably be saying it for the rest of my life. But thank you for being here. Thanks so much. And so for that reason, whatever you do in the holidays with your family, games, board games, it's all good. RPGs, thanks for being here to even talk about them. And if you want more, Fitz, what do you do?
Oh, if you want more, you could join our Discord and chitter chatter. We'll keep you company over the holidays.
Yeah, we will.
And talk about the Bud and Herb episode as well, because Evan and I was a little scared yesterday. We dropped it to the patrons, and I was like,
it's worth it.
Oh, people are gonna be listening to this. It's like a whole thing. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah,
I'll talk about Bud and Herb all day, every day. So
okay.
hit us up.
yeah. Please be safe wherever you're traveling.
Yes, please.
Be safe where you're traveling, and we're gonna miss you next week, and then we'll be back in 2024.
The last show ever
this year
in 2023.
Yeah, amazing.
Well, I love you guys.
I love you.
All of you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for making our entire year so merry, so bright, so funny. Y'all are some of the funniest people. You know that?
Yeah.
You're pretty good.
They really are.
Well, everybody.
Well,
should I close us out?
Yeah.
Close us out.
Merry Winter's Moon Eve to you, Matt and Allison, and everybody listening in.
Goodbye.
Bye, Kurt.